Okay, Jamie, please come in. Please have that seat in the corner. It's nice to see you. I'm John Sturgeon.
Nice to meet you, John.
You're on a community payback order, a probation order, and it's my job to supervise your order. The first thing that we do is we carry out an assessment, and that's what we're going to be doing this morning for an hour, maybe an hour and a quarter. Have you got time for that?
I've got time. I can't leave it too late because I've got things to do this afternoon.
Okay. Well, the room's booked for an hour and a half, so that's really is our kind of maximum time. But I kind of find we all lose concentration after a little while. So you're James Wilson. Can you confirm your date of birth with me?
It's the 18th of the 7th, 86.
Okay, that's perfect. You're known to the service. You've been around the social work department for quite a long time.
Aye.
But I've never met you before, so this is a new experience for me. So I always enjoy meeting new people, and we're going to be working with each other for the next 2 years on this community payback order. So I think we're going to get to know each other pretty well, and I hope that goes well. So today's really important. It's an opportunity for you to get to know me and for me to get to know you. The conditions of the community payback order were explained to you last week.
Aye.
But there's one thing I just want to underline is that you have a responsibility to comply with the terms of the order. But I don't know if this was explained to you, that I am required by the law to assist you to comply with it, and also to inform the court if you're not complying with it. But that's important, that I have a responsibility to make it easier for you to meet the terms of the order, to help you along that journey.
Alright.
Okay. So the purpose of the interview today is to carry out an assessment. I'm going to be asking you lots of questions. I've got forms here that I've got a lot of boxes that need to be ticked in that. And I would ask you to give as full answers as possible to my questions.
Right.
How does that sound?
Feels like I've been here before doing this. I mean, my information for the past is not going to change, so I just feel like I'm going over old grounds again.
Okay.
But I suppose I'll get a bash.
Okay. Well, we haven't seen you for a wee while, and it's sometimes when you go over the past again, being a bit older, you maybe get different insights into it, so it's maybe worth going over the past again. So let's give it a go. The other thing I'd like to stress is that this interview is confidential, but not quite to these four walls of this room. The interview, I'll be writing it up and I'll be making a report, and that report belongs to the agency. It doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the agency. Right. So the assessments will be shared, but within this building particularly. If you move on to be under the supervision of another service in another area of Scotland, for instance, that report will go there.
Right. Aye.
Okay. If you were to say to me that you are concerned about, say something that makes me concerned about the welfare of a child, or the welfare of an adult who's vulnerable for whatever reason, I am obliged to act upon that. So please bear that in mind.
Right.
Okay. So a lot of questions this morning, and I'm asking you to answer them in as much depth as possible. Okay. How are you with people asking you very personal questions?
Depends on the person, really. If I feel like a good relationship with them, I don't mind being open and honest, but my experience with social workers in the past is they're just, pointing the finger. I feel like they're arseholes, sitting in their ivory towers, with the whole grace of God go I attitude. So I find it hard to talk to folk like that.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're going to have to judge me this morning. I'm assessing you, but you're assessing me too. So you're going to be making judgments about me. So if I can just ask you to kind of relax as much as you can. If you're not sure why I'm asking you a question, then please say. If you find it's difficult to answer for emotional reasons, just say, I'm not quite ready to answer that question now. and we may come back to it, but please just be honest. If I feel you're avoiding things, then I'll maybe push you a little bit further. What I'd like 2 outcomes from this meeting. One is that I get enough information from my assessment, but the other thing is that you go away from this meeting saying, I've actually learned something about myself, I've got myself thinking.
Right.
Okay. The purpose of the interview is really to look at how likely it is that you're going to reoffend again.
Okay.
And then we'll meet again in a few days, maybe as much as a week, and we'll make a plan to reduce these risks. So it'll be quite structured.
Right.
Okay, so you are starting from the position that you're quite open-minded about me, but your experience of social workers is that they're rather aloof, they're arseholes, and you're not. They keep asking you the same questions. So I'm going to ask you some of the same questions, but I'm going to try not to be an arsehole. Okay. What I do know is, because we've got big files on you, is that sometimes your difficulty with social workers can result in big angry outbursts. It says that you're kind of quite stroppy.
Yep.
The last couple of times you've been in the office, that has happened. What is it that triggers that?
I'll be honest with you, I struggle with folk talking down to me. So they, and I know sometimes I'm late for my appointments and stuff. And I've tried to explain that it's because of the transport, having to wait for that. But the social workers I've had in the past, they're not interested. They're not interested in ticking the box and pointing the finger, and it's just something that really gets my back up.
Okay. Now, some of these interviews have terminated early because you've walked out. Do you feel yourself getting quite angry when that starts to happen? Do you feel that there's that, or does it just suddenly happen?
It's probably linked to something else that's happened with my pals, previously, but the anger's already there.
Okay.
And rather than, take it to the next level, I just walk out, because there's no point in.
Can we just say then, that if you feel that happening, if you feel that starting to happen, just say, can we just pause? And I'm happy to stop the interview, and we can just give you a wee bit of time in here on your own, and then I can come back in and we can re-engage, rather than just blow the whole time we've got. Okay. Let's make a start then. If we can start with your what we call your criminal history, your criminal record, and your history with the social services department. What I've got here by looking through the files, so we don't have to go through information that's non-essential, is that you first became known to social workers at 12 years old.
Aye, 12-year-old.
And that was at 12 years old, the point where you leave your primary school and go into secondary school. And you were referred to us by the school because there was disruption in the class. You remember that?
Aye.
Okay. We also know that you're the only person in your family who's been in trouble with the law as well.
Aye, my family like to remind me that all the times.
Your parents, your relationship with them has always been very good.
Aye, I'm close to my mum and dad. Aye.
So I've got here that they're loving and supportive.
Aye, I'd say they're certainly supportive, and they've obviously stopped by me and put up with my crap, so yeah, that maybe that kind of.
But one of my colleagues are saying that, noted in the file, just to check that this is quite accurate, they're a bit worn out by you.
Aye, probably my mum more than my dad.
Okay.
My mum probably puts up with me more than my dad.
Okay.
Which I feel bad for, but she's always there.
So whatever's going on, your mum's
she's always
there for you.
Aye.
And you say she's a bit more than your dad. What's your dad's?
I think my dad's just at the stage where he's just fed up with, I'm an adult now and they've still got to kind of intervene and help me in my life, which I know it impacts on their marriage. It's no fair, but I can't get into them.
That's how it is.
Aye.
That's how it is. We'll come back to that in a bit more detail. Your brother can be a bit hostile towards you because he's protective of his parents.
Aye.
Of his parents. And you've got a sister as well. Okay. Now, I've got a copy of your criminal record here. And it's quite an extensive record, but for kind of low-level crime. Housebreaking.
Aye.
Burglaries. Yeah, that kind of thing, as they say in England, burglaries. Assault.
Aye.
Driving charges. Just kind of antisocial stuff.
Aye, I mean, stupid stuff. Kind of, once with a few drinks, kind of spontaneous thinking that we're going to go and do something, and that's usually the stupid things we do.
So alcohol is already identified as a factor. And your friends?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Do you ever commit offences on your own?
No. No.
I
mean, maybe like silly me things, like maybe shoplifting. You know, I've did that more, but no like house breakings and taking cars. That's a two-man job.
Okay. And you've been in court a lot. How many times do you think you've been in court?
Lost count after the 8th time.
How many do you think?
A lot.
Okay.
Seriously?
Yeah.
47 times.
47 times you've been in court since you were 16. 47 times. And each court appearance has usually more than one offence in it.
Aye.
Ask you another question. How many times do you think you offend and don't get caught? Would you get caught 1 in 3, 1 in 4, or 1 in...
Well, I don't get caught every time. That's you know, probably every 4th time I do something I'm getting caught.
Okay.
And it's usually because I'm stupid and I leave evidence or
Okay.
or I'm too drunk.
So we're talking about between 16 and you're 30 now, that you're committed over maybe you could have been in court over 200 times. Yeah. And committing 3 or 4 offences every time. You may be getting up to 1,000 offences. You've been very busy.
Aye.
You've been very busy. There are 4 offences this time. You were involved with others in breaking into somebody's house. You stole a car, and you were driving that car without a licence and insurance. And we also know that the goods were not recovered because they were damaged when the police were chasing you. So you have 4 current offences. You've been on probation before.
Aye, I've done it a few times. Aye.
Have you ever completed it?
No.
No. What happens?
Starts off, you know, good intentions. You know, want to do the right thing. I always meet folk, you know, through that process, and then the drink just sets back in. You know, my priorities are the drink and catching up with my pals and.
So you don't come in for appointments and then it comes to an end.
Aye.
Okay. And there was one occasion where the relationship with your supervising officer just broke down as well, and the order was not viable after that. And there was one of your probation orders where it was revoked because you committed another offence as well. So during the period of probation, you committed another offence. Okay. And how many times have you been to prison?
6, 7.
6 or 7 times. Okay. And when you've been in prison, have you ever been sanctioned for misconduct when you've been in prison?
Aye. Aye. Again, for stupid things like fighting. Yeah, I mean, you're in that environment, you know, you get cabin fever and, you know, the slightest of wee things set you off. And usually you're in there with folk that you wouldn't usually have anything to do with, so that's
Does it
It's a
kind
perfect environment really to kind of do stupid things like that.
if you want to fight, a prison's
Aye.
probably a good place
Aye.
to do it. So you were formally sanctioned by the governor
Yep.
of the prison on how many occasions?
There's been quite a few times I've been sanctioned by the governor.
Every prison sentence, or?
No, not every prison sentence, because then, you know, the first gym I got my head down, I wanted to go home with it. Second time, I thought I knew what I was going to expect, so I didn't really care about what I was doing in there and how I behaved. So probably about 3 times.
Okay. So that's your background. What I do notice is in the criminal records information I've got is that when you were younger there were a lot of offences going on, and now you're kind of as you got into your late 20s, things began to slow down a little bit, so the pattern was changing a little bit. Either you're not getting caught as much or you're actually offending less. Which is it?
If I'm being totally honest, probably a combination of both.
Aye.
Okay.
So
I suppose when you're younger, you don't really care. You know, you're just kind of keeping up with your pals, what they're doing. You don't want to let the side down.
Okay.
But as I got older, I met somebody. They were helping to settle down a wee bit, and then the kids came along.
Okay.
And the second one came along, and that's when I've started to maybe go back to my old ways, because it was a bit too much for me.
Okay. How do you see the future?
Well, I don't want to be sitting here, you know, talking to social workers or being on orders, because, you know, it's getting a bit boring now.
Okay.
And I want to be the best I can be. I want to, you know, have a bright future, and I want my kids to be proud of me and my parents. But I'm just stuck. I don't know how to get to that next stage.
So, do you think you can change?
I believe that everybody can change. I don't think it's as easy for some people as for others, but
easy for you. You're 30 now, and you're still at it.
That's been a long time, so I want to say I'd like to. Aye.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Your records say that when you were at school, you struggled at school, not intellectually because your grades were good, but you struggled with the teachers. What was going on there?
Again, it's just that authority figure, you know, and coming from a household where my dad was strict, you know, and he was the one that laid down the law in the house, then got to school and getting the same treatment. I just couldn't cope with it.
Okay.
And it really got my back up.
Can you give me an example?
I mean, like you say, my grades weren't too bad, but I felt like the teachers would kind of pluck me out of the class and make me do things, like read out in front of the class as a means to kind of mock me.
Okay.
I kind of realise now that they're probably trying to help me, help my confidence grow a wee bit, but at the time, you know, it was just, this is not happening. And that's when the anger came in and the violence sometimes.
So you felt quite humiliated?
Aye.
Okay, and you would react to that?
Aye.
Okay. And that was beginning to be a problem in primary school, but it became a big problem in secondary school.
Aye, I mean, primary school, I worked with one teacher, and they were able to kind of contain my behaviour. But when I got to the high school, it was too much, you know, with different teachers, different pupils, so I felt like I had to kind of live up to the reputation that I had in primary school, just be kind of crank it up a level.
Okay.
And the time I got to the high school, there was other things involved, like I made new pals, I started drinking, smoking, so I wasn't really there to be educated, I was just there to have a laugh.
Okay. If I can ask you to shift your perspective and see yourself as, imagine that you're a teacher and young Jamie's in the class, how would your typical teacher describe you?
Annoying, horrible,
Okay.
unteachable, Common, you know.
How many of these would you agree with?
Probably at the time. Them all.
Right. What about now?
Probably them all.
Okay. Were there any other teachers that you really did get on with and that you looked up to?
Aye, I mean, I found my guidance teacher. She was nice. She tried to help, come up with strategies to help with my behaviour. She even came up with a part-time timetable to help me cope with school. But once she was removed, you know, it was just my normal teachers that were left, and I felt like I was a nuisance to them. So I just reverted back to the way I behaved.
Okay, so your behaviour when she was working with you was much better. If you could put yourself into her seat, how would she describe you?
Well, she did tell me that I was bright, I was intelligent. She did say to me once that I was in control of my life, and I always had a choice. And I suppose when she was telling me that, it made me feel like I was worthwhile, you know, that I could be the best I could be. But as I say, when she was removed, it was just back to reality for me, you know. All the old thoughts were coming back to my head, you know, that I was just there for a laugh and a joke. And so
you do respond to other people?
Aye, I mean, I won't respond to folk who treat me with respect. But if the respect's not there, I find it hard to get back.
Okay. Now, the leaving age of school is 16.
Aye.
Now, you left before then. What were the circumstances of that?
Well, I basically had to leave because the school couldn't manage my outbursts. And I think the final straw was when I cracked the teacher in the nose.
Okay. You punched the teacher?
Aye. And that was that. It just didn't care what else to do with me.
Okay. So you were expelled at 15 years old
15.
from school?
Aye.
Okay. And what about since then?
What do you mean?
Well, you're now, what, 30? So the second half of your life, if you like, is now since you left school. Have you worked?
Aye, I mean, I've worked. I've done like wee jobs and stuff. I've worked in kitchens. I've worked in factories, but it's no been what I wanted to do though. You know, and I always feel like, again, I'm a second class member of staff. You know, from clearing dishes, you know, I'm spoken down to again. It evokes a lot of feelings for being at school.
Okay.
And from my childhood, you know, and I do struggle a wee bit with authority, so I do.
I think that's very clear. Yes.
And then when you get somebody coming in, you know, thinking they're better than me, again, the anger just shows itself in a way that's, in a way I can't control sometimes, you know, and it's out the door. There's my job.
Okay. Now, they think they're better than you. There's a bit before that, and we'll come back to that later, is you think they think they're better than you. Okay. So they're maybe not thinking they're any better than you.
Well, certainly by they present themselves at the time, I would argue that because.
Well, I wasn't there. So, I'll bow to your judgment on that.
Aye.
What's the longest you've had a job?
For 9 months.
9 months. Okay. And have you had jobs where you've been on a contract and you've finished the contract?
Well, I've been on like these like 0-hour contracts and stuff, like temporary contracts. So they've never really been like permanent contracts. The longest I've worked is 9 months in the garage, and that's when my ex was pregnant with my first child.
Okay.
And the weekend came along, and that's when the contracts ended.
Okay.
But to be fair, it wasn't because of the garage, because of me and my motivation getting up, you know, so...
So you stopped going to work? Okay. Have you been sacked from jobs?
Oh aye, loads of jobs.
Right. For what reason?
Stealing.
Stealing from the work?
Violent outbursts. Vandalism.
Okay.
Like breaking the property and stuff.
During one of these outbursts?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Stealing for an employer, what was that about? What happened?
Well, at the time I was working in the kitchen, I was stealing some of the food for the freezers. I mean, at the time I was heavy drinking, so my money was spoken for. Because so I had to feed myself, and I also had to buy my drink. That was the priority at the time. So thinking back, I mean, it does sound a bit stupid, you know, I prioritised the drink over food, but that was the right thing to do for me at the time.
Okay. So you've been sacked for a number of jobs for different reasons, but we can't get away from this explosive temper that you've got. Have you had jobs that have been really good for you? Employers that have been fair, employers that have been good?
Aye, I mean, I've worked in the garage and they were great, so they were. You know, and I felt that was the environment where they weren't judging me. You know, they weren't nitpicking at my past. Or like I said, Della sitting there over the tower and casting their judgments. But again, I mucked that up myself. So I did, because at the end of the day, they're a business and they need somebody to rely upon.
How did you get on with your workmates?
Brilliant.
You got on well with them?
Aye, they were really good.
So people at your level you're fine with?
Aye.
But relationships with authority you're not so sure about? Okay. In the last 12 months, how long have you worked?
No.
You haven't?
No.
Nothing at all?
No.
Okay. So, what do you do all day? What do you do with all this leisure time that you've got?
Each day is different, I suppose, but very similar in the same sense, if that makes any sense at all. I like to hang about with my pals.
Okay.
You know, they're my rock. You know, I can talk to them about anything, and they've had similar backgrounds, so they get it, they understand. So I meet them probably on a daily basis. Usually night times.
Okay.
Because I like to have a long lie-in during the day.
Okay.
Because if I'm on the bevy the night before,
right,
I like to get up about 2, 3, play the PlayStation.
2 or 3 in the afternoon?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye. My mum will pop round noon again to make sure I'm alright. I've got like gas and electricity and food, but that's my life in a nutshell. It's
a very restricted life. Your friends, your Xbox, your family. Do you do anything else?
I drink. Probably drink quite a lot actually.
Okay.
I suppose when you're drunk and you're drinking all the time, that's consuming a large part of my day anyway, so it fills it in.
You got your dog. You never mentioned your dog.
Aye.
So what does your dog do for you, and what do you do for your dog?
Well, my dog's brilliant. I mean, my dog keeps me company when there's nobody else about. Very loyal. Very loyal. What do I do for my dog? I mean, don't be wrong, when I get up, you know, I take my dog out long walks, and especially if I'm going to like my pals who sees the kind of dogs there. I've got a purpose to get up. Really. Okay,
so the dog gives you that.
I mean, my purpose was the reins, you know, when I was with my ex. But obviously that's kind of went wrong.
Yeah, we'll come to your relationships and your children as well in a few minutes. So you have a lot of time to spare. You lie in bed, so you have a long lie, which is right into the afternoon. Most people have done a day's work by then, and then you do some PlayStation and you have contact with your friends, and your mum comes round from time to time, or you go and see her, and that's about it for you.
Aye, well, during the day. I mean, I'm not got my bed to about 5 and 6 in the morning anyway. And depending on what I've been doing, my pals the night before, that sleep's definitely needed.
Okay.
But that's about it.
Right. And your friends are people you've known for a long time?
I knew my pals from primary school.
Well, I'm kind of working in the probation service. Would I know them?
You will definitely know them. Definitely.
Okay. Right, so these are people who are living the same kind of lifestyle as you.
Aye.
Okay. What about the future for you? 5 years' time?
5 years' time. The 5-year plan.
The 5-year plan. More of the same or something different?
No. I definitely want to. I want to get away from this routine because it's boring now. I mean, I want to be a person who actually contributes, to society. But my only concern is with my background. That's going to stop me from doing things that I want to do.
Okay.
I want to get my education right.
So you're quite ambitious?
Aye. But I find it hard though to kind of come away from my pals.
Okay.
Because they're obviously knowing the same mindset as me.
And how long have you been thinking, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to make a break?
And being honest with you, I've actually thought about that for years and years. When I'm doing stuff, it's stupid. I'm kind of taking a sidestep for myself thinking, this is not right. But it's because I've done it before, it's known to me that it feels natural.
Okay. So what about this balance of pleasure in your life and regret? Where's it tipping? Because there is a balance, isn't there? There's kind of I like my friends and I live, this is my life, and I kind of want to change.
I mean, I certainly regret things I've done. And I get pleasure for being with my pals because they get me. You understand me? I don't need to pretend I'm something I'm not.
It's quite simple.
Aye. But I have got to acknowledge that maybe it's no a healthy relationship that I've got with them, and I think for me, if I want to move on and change, I need to distance myself. But if I distance myself from them, I've got nobody else. I've got my mum and dad, but then they've got their limits as well, I suppose.
Okay. Well, we all need our friends. We all need our friends. Your friends make you feel quite comfortable.
Aye.
Yeah. Do they ever challenge you and say, "Don't do that, Jamie"? Or
No,
no,
they encourage me.
they encourage
Aye,
you.
they're the opposite.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. So they would be, if you were wanting to make a change, they would be a factor that you would have to take into account.
Aye.
It's quite a powerful factor.
Aye. I mean, my mum always blames them for leading me astray and all that, but they've been my rock at times when I've had nothing and nobody. So
Who do you blame?
well, I blame society. I blame my parents, for not being strict enough when I was younger. I blame my teachers at school, for no understanding me at the time. And
Do you blame your friends?
sometimes I blame them for kind of stupid ideas, and I get tied in with it, and I go along and end up doing the time in the jail.
Do you contribute stupid ideas to them?
Sometimes.
Okay. Now, what about yourself? You blame yourself for this?
I do. I mean, I blame myself for things like being able to, hold down a job, and not being able to be the dad that I wanted to be, or the partner to my ex that I wanted to be, or the son that I should have been. So I do blame myself for that. But the stuff at the beginning, I just feel like if people were more in tune with me at the time, I wouldn't have been in that road. So.
Okay, so it's quite a mixture of yourself, your friends, your teachers, your family. It's quite a mixture. Yeah. Your teachers have all moved on. Maybe some of them are in other schools, some of them are retired. Your friends are still with you, your family are still with you. Life moves on.
Aye.
But you're the constant figure.
Aye, I mean, you're right. Everything's changing around about me, but I still feel the same person who was excluded from school at 15. It's
Yeah, and if there had been Xboxes then, when you were younger, you would have been playing your Xbox.
You're right, things have moved on for them.
Now, these are friends who sort of never say to you, don't do that, Jamie, your life will get complicated, someone get hurt or something like this, you'll end up in prison. Are there any people from your past, people in the present, who would take a different view, people you maybe avoid because you're a little bit embarrassed about something that's happened, maybe a friend from the past who you value their opinion on things, but wouldn't agree with this lifestyle?
Well, the first person that pops into my mind is my ex-partner. She was my best friend, very level-headed, mature, and I think that's what attracted to her to begin with. You know, she was somebody who was the polar opposite to me, but very nurturing, very kind-hearted.
What's her name?
Ashley.
Ashley. Okay.
And again, I suppose I've kind of ran her into the ground as well with my behaviours, and you know, and she's somebody that I want to have a relationship with, even if it's just as friends, which would be great for the kids. But I understand she kind of keeps me at arm's length because the way I am, she doesn't want me around about the kids, which is understandable. But she is definitely somebody that I do avoid because she knows me and.
Does she challenge you when she sees you?
All the time.
Right. Yeah. And is she pleased to see you?
Well, I'm definitely pleased to see her. I mean, she always gives me a cuddle and tells me to take care of her after she's seen me. But so I suppose she does. But I mean, she's one for, you know, coming right down on me.
Okay.
She'll not mince her words.
She doesn't.
No.
She doesn't mess about.
No.
You know what she's thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there anybody else?
My dad.
Your dad.
A spade's a spade when it comes to my dad, and he will not put up with the crap that I'm doing, because I feel like I'm an embarrassment to him. I think compared to my brother and sister, you know, they've always been up on that pedestal, and they've always been, you know, educated and had great jobs, and they've got great families. So I feel like if I avoid him, I'm no bringing me into the picture for him.
Okay. What about some other kind of positive people in your life? People who, if we say a friend is someone whose opinion you really value, and in consequence you change your behaviour when you approach them, as an acquaintance is somebody who has less impact on you. Have you got any other friends around who would not agree with this kind of criminal lifestyle that you have, this hanging about, getting into trouble?
I wouldn't really say friend. Well, they are. It's my next door neighbour. She likes to kind of help me with stuff. I mean, she's very level-headed, and she's one of these people that she's easy to talk to. And she's always told me to pop round if I need help. Or, so I mean, I suppose she's a person that would.
Do you talk to her about your problems?
I've spoken to her. She knows my background. She knows the stuff I've done, and she's probably one of the only ones who have thrown it back in my face and made me feel stupid or belittled me about it. So, and she's always told me, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know, life is what you make it. But I think she's experienced some hardship herself, and she's came at the other end. So that's inspiring.
So you got your friends who are really quite pro-criminal. They're likely to draw you into crime and justify offences. And you've got one or two people, your ex-partner Ashley, and you've got your next door neighbour who really represent an alternative view, as does your father as well. Okay.
Yeah.
What about in terms of the forces which is a stronger force in your life, your friends or these other voices?
Well, I'm definitely stuck in a rut,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones that ruin me the most is my pals, who do kind of lure me into the normal behaviours that we do. So I'd say the force is probably more with them.
Okay. And one group of people you talked about is your family, and I'm going to include Ashley, and you've got 2 children?
Yep.
And are they both Ashley's children?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one is what age?
5, got just about to start school.
Okay. That makes you feel a bit older, I'm sure.
Aye.
And the other one?
18 months.
Okay. And is this really from a long relationship you've had with Ashley, or has it been a bit on and off?
It's definitely been on and off for the past 10 years. Again, it's due to my behaviours and the way I've behaved. It's, you know, I've not been the nicest towards Ashley over the years. So, aye.
So you're brought up in this town, and you've got your mother and father. They both are still alive and keep good health.
Aye.
Yeah.
Quite healthy people.
And you have a brother and a sister. Okay. And what I know is that from previous records is that your brother can be quite hostile towards you because of the hassle that you've brought into the house to your parents. And your sister, how does she feel about you?
Well, she is. We were great growing up, you know, she was quite nurturing, and we were very close, so we were. But as time went on, you know, she started to distance herself. She doesn't want me around about our children. Aye. So we're not as close as we used to be.
Okay. Do you think there's a way back for you into the relationship with your sister?
Aye, definitely. I think if I was to, you know, change my life and do something that was really positive, and you know, it was evidence for them that actually, do you know something, I have changed. I think I always like to believe there is a window there to the back.
So that would be something you would like?
Aye, definitely.
What about your relationship with your brother?
I think because we were so similar in age growing up, he was Mr. Perfect and I was obviously the bad gin. I don't know. I mean, I love him, but I don't like him as a person. So I don't think there's ever going to be anything concrete there between us two.
When did you start to grow apart from him?
Probably when he was at the high school. He was 2 years older than me. Again, he was perfect in school, went to school all the time, excellent behaved, and I was an embarrassment to him.
Okay. So you've grown away from quite an early stage.
Aye.
Your mum and dad, they keep good health, they've not been in trouble. Your father, you said, was quite strict with you, and your mother was very forgiving with you, and that's the case. And you see your mother quite a lot. How often do you see your father?
Last time I seen him was at Christmas time. That's usually about either. If it's a funeral, I don't get invited to weddings anymore. So funerals are Christmas, and it's literally for like 10 minutes.
What do you think he thinks about you?
I think he's disgusted with me. I think he's ashamed. And he always said, you know, in the past, that he wished I was the born. So that's kind of stuff that's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, suppose when you're breaking into houses and you're bringing the post to do and social workers, that's, you know, I can understand why I would say that. But I always felt like he was comparing me to my siblings.
Okay. Do you think there's a way back between you and your father?
Probably no. I mean, maybe if I was to change everything and stick to it, maybe there could be, but right now I can't see it.
What would you like to happen?
I would like him to take notice of me and, you know, show interest. He goes fishing with my brother and, you know, does stuff with my sister and her kids. I mean, he's not got much of a relationship with my children. So I think I'd like stuff like that to improve.
So you're maybe missing out a bit.
Aye.
Missing out. Okay. Ashley and you separated just after the wee one was born, and the relationship with Ashley has been on and off. Why has it broken down?
She has tried countless times to get me off the drink. You know, a right shoulder to cry on. I've abused that.
Okay.
So I have. She's no one to be messed with now. I mean, when I first met me Ashley, she was quite, say, vulnerable. Came from quite a similar background to me. She's at the stage of life now. She doesn't want folk to walk over and give bullshitting. I can understand that.
She stood up to you.
Aye.
I mean, normally when somebody stands up to you, there's an outburst and there's violence. Have you ever been violent towards her?
Aye, I mean, I have, especially when I've been pissed. You know, I have been violent. The polls have come a few times. And that's what happened last time. Just after the wee one was born. I was drinking all the time because I just didn't care to cope. I got violent, so the police had to remove me from the house.
And that was one occasion? Have there been other occasions?
Oh, there's been a few occasions.
And shouting?
And shouting, screaming, me vandalising her house.
Okay. And what's your oldest child's name?
Lee, excuse me.
And the younger one?
Sydney.
And was Lee around? Was Lee kind of hearing this?
Aye. He was 3-year-old when the lot was going on. You know, that's when I broke her windows and stuff. A lot of screaming.
Okay.
And he was starting to kind of, as Ashley said, he was starting to copy my behaviours because he was doing it in nursery. So that's when she put her foot down and says, no, I'm not getting to see the way at the time.
What impact do you think that was having on Lee at the time?
Well, I imagine he was scared. You know, this person that's supposed to be his dad and supposed to look after him is screaming the house down and causing him to be frightened. I don't think it was a nice experience for him.
Okay. Yeah, very difficult when he's very young, isn't it, to grow up and hearing that unpredictability.
Aye.
Tell me, do you still see the children?
Aye, when my mum and dad's got them, you know, my mum will maybe give me a wee phone and kind of to see how I am. Okay. Because if I'm pissed, I'm not looking. But aye, there has been times when I've been round, but my mum and dad go to me there. That's what Ashley said, that, you know, under no circumstances Dad left them home with the kids. I mean, like we take them to the shop, but they call them on the road. But then again, I understand why Ashley would want that.
Yeah. The social work have never been involved with your children despite all of this. I think when the police get involved nowadays, then they will notify us, but at that point it's not something that they did. So it sounds like this is something which has been managed in the family. And you still have contact with your children. Lee's about to start school. You're father of 2 children. What about the future in that then? What kind of life do you want to have with your children?
I want to be stable. I want to be able to provide for my kids. I want my kids to be proud of me. I want them to do really well in school and life, and I don't want them to go down the same road as me.
Okay. There's a lot of forces for change here, isn't there, for you?
Aye.
A lot of forces for change. Yeah. I get the idea that you're quite proud of your children.
Oh, aye, absolutely.
And that's really down to Ashley.
Aye, if it wasn't for Ashley, I mean, goodness knows where my kids would have went. You know, if Ashley was more like me, I can imagine they'd probably been in the care system.
Okay. Now, I've got your address here. I just want to talk about your accommodation. and you spend a lot of time sleeping in your flat, it seems, or doing your Xbox, and you live in one of the areas of town where the police are quite busy up there, so it's a high crime neighbourhood in the jargon. How long have you had your flat?
I've had my flat for about 2.5 years now. I got it the last time I came out of jail.
Okay.
But it's really just a shell.
Okay.
You know, I just go there, put my heat down, get up, play my Xbox. I don't really have any like pleasure in being there. I'm certainly not proud of the state of the place either.
Is it stable accommodation? Is the landlord happy for you to be there?
Aye, I mean, I'm no. I've had a few run-ins with the landlord, you know, because my pal's been running late at night and putting music on and drinking. But I would say I'm on my last legs.
Okay, so has there been formal warnings?
Oh, aye, there's been a few.
Okay, so a lot of noise about, your friends are about, and is that something that's continuing? You still have your friends round? Yeah.
Not as much as I used to, because you know, at the end of the day, I've got to have somewhere to stay. I mean, they're alright, they've got families, they've got places they can put their heat down, but I need to kind of be mindful that, you know, that's where I need to be, and if they're going to come round partying and getting drunk and, you know, having the police come into the door, you know, that's no good.
That's something you could change quite easily. You could say, don't come round.
Aye. I could do, but then if I do that, I might cut my nose off to spite my face.
What does that mean?
Well, they might not want to hang about me. They might think that I'm trying to keep them away.
Okay.
And I don't want them to think that I'm better than them.
Okay.
I try to be better than them.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you get on with your neighbours? You said there is a neighbour you get on
there's
with.
one neighbour. I mean, the rest of them, they don't. I mean, they're the ones that phone the police. So it is. Ones that are out in the street gossiping about me. But the one neighbour, she's alright.
What do you think it's like to live next door to you?
Probably not very pleasant.
Okay.
Imagine it's hard work.
Noise.
Aye. Very noisy.
You got carpet?
No.
No. So pacing about at night.
Aye.
When they're trying to sleep.
Yeah, and I'm in a middle flat, so.
Okay.
You know,
so they're getting up in the morning and they're tired and they're grumpy.
Aye, and they've got. I mean, the ones downstairs, they've got reins, so. I get it. I do get it. Just.
Okay. How are you for money? What do you live off?
Benefits.
Benefits.
Aye. Which is not enough. To be honest with you, I kind of live hand to mouth. I don't see how I can budget with the money I get.
Okay.
It's not a lot of money. So again, this is when I kind of fall back into shoplifting for food or for toiletries, because my money is spoken for. Either I owe it to my pals when they get their money, or it goes in drink.
Okay. So alcohol is a big factor. How well do you feed yourself?
Not very.
Not very well.
You're lucky if I'll eat every 2 days.
Okay.
Unless me and my pals can go out on a rampage and steal some stuff.
So you rely on your friends for a little bit of money and you give money to them.
Aye.
Does your mum and dad support you at all?
They used to, until I stole for them.
Right.
I stole quite a substantial amount of money, so that stopped.
Have you got any debts?
Loads of debts. Yeah.
And are any of these debts got threats attached to them?
Aye, I mean, there's been some loan sharks and that, you know, came to the door and demanding money. And a few times my mum's bailed me out. With them, I just fall back into the same trap. And I suppose I assumed that she would help me out again. But I suppose I've got the limits and I'm not going to do it anywhere.
And is money a motivation for offending? I need to steal something.
Money a motivation?
Yeah.
Aye.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because I need the money to do what I want to do, and I need the money to feed myself. So I'll go out and steal. And
Okay. If we can move on, that really to something that you've mentioned a few times, substances. Any drugs?
Well, in the past I've tried stuff, I've took stuff, but it's not really been my cup of tea. It's a bit lame actually.
Okay.
You know, and I think to be labelled with all the stuff I am labelled with, that's no one I'm not allowed to be associated with.
Okay,
My pals take drugs, like.
We're talking about drugs, we're talking about cannabis, cocaine, heroin, that kind of LSD, that kind of thing.
Right.
When was the last time you used any of that?
Probably smoked a joint about 5 weeks ago.
5 weeks ago.
Aye. I mean, I could never afford cocaine. That's a rich man's drug. But I've took like speed and stuff, like when I was a teenager and that. But didn't really sit well with me. It was the next day it was too much.
Okay. And tobacco?
Aye, I smoke. Smoke.
Have you always smoked?
I've smoked since I was 27.
Right. And you're still smoking?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, where I can get it.
Alcohol?
Yeah.
You've mentioned that repeatedly throughout this. It seems to be a factor in most offences.
I would say them all.
All of them?
Yeah.
As under the influence in all of them, or you're stealing to get money for alcohol?
Aye, I mean, the ones that's set me down, there's always been alcohol involved with that. But the next day I may have the shakes from the alcohol, so I'll go out and steal again to get the money to buy it.
To stop the shakes.
Aye.
Okay. An alcohol problem then?
I wouldn't say it was a problem. No, I wouldn't say it was a problem. I mean, I like a drink, but I don't.
Okay.
I suppose with the shakes, you could see it as a problem, but I'm able to fix that.
What would you say is a problem then? I'm curious as to this. What would you say is if you were to say, I've got an alcohol problem, John, you've got an alcohol problem. I said, what do you mean, Jamie? And what would you be looking for?
Well, somebody has got an alcohol problem, drinks all day, every day. And for me, there's some days I can't get the drink. So I don't see that as a problem.
Okay, when you can't get it,
aye.
Your life doesn't fall apart.
Oh, I see it does fall apart to a certain degree, Maybe I've got a problem.
What's your evidence for that being a problem then?
For it not being a problem?
No, for it being a problem. You say, maybe I've got a problem. So what's your evidence for that?
Well, seeing as me having a drink, I was relaxing, I was socialising with my pals, so I never seen it as a problem. But I'm getting to the stage now where I will drink on my own.
Okay.
No through choice, just because there's nobody else there. I'd always wait, my pals were about, to have a drink. But now it's no the case. I'm drinking probably the cheapest of drinks you can get. Like £1 bottles of cider, which isn't the nicest.
Right.
Maybe it is a problem then.
Okay. Are there any other indicators it's a problem? You're saying that you're drinking more and more, and some of these alcohol at the pound a bottle is very strong.
It's quick fix.
You're drinking to stop the shakes. What are the other indicators it's a problem?
Well, I suppose by getting pissed and having the shakes, then going out and stealing to get the money. I'm not working. I'm not trying to build a relationship with my ex and my kids, my mum and dad. That's...
You're beginning to convince me. Are you convincing yourself?
This is probably the first time I've kind of acknowledged it.
Okay.
The way I am, it's easy to run away and pretend that, I don't need to have a relationship with these people and fuck them. And I never really see alcohol as the problem. I wouldn't really say that is the problem, but I would say it's a barrier.
Okay.
To stop me from moving on.
Okay. And it's a barrier, I think, that you describe. If you're drinking more and more, it's becoming bigger and bigger and higher and higher. What does Ashley, what do your parents say about alcohol and you?
Oh, they hate it. They will quite openly say that I'm an absolute arsehole with the drink, and that's probably when I'm most aggressive and violent, is when I've had a drink.
But you're saying now that you're seeing things, beginning this morning to see things slightly differently. Were they right all along?
As much as I hate to admit it, they probably are. No, they are. No, they definitely are.
It's hard to admit things, isn't it?
Aye.
It is hard to admit things.
But I think, see, admitting it, it's quite liberating at the same time.
Okay.
Because I'm able to take a sidestep from the normal, garbage that's in my head to actually realising that, if I'm acknowledging it, I'm seeing that's the problem. The next step might be a bit easier.
Okay, I like that. But one of the things you said a few minutes ago was that alcohol's not the problem, alcohol's the barrier. What did you mean by that? What do you think the problem is?
I think I'm the problem.
Okay.
And I use alcohol to cover up how I'm really feeling. It stops me from alcohol is a barrier because it stops me from wanting to. It stops me from having a relationship with my kids, my family, getting a decent job. But I think the problem's me and it's in here.
Okay. So you could say then that the vast majority of your teachers were right.
Aye.
You could say that your father was right, your brother was right. But there's other people, remember, who have a different view of you. I think Ashley's got mixed views about you. Your next door neighbour that you talk to has got views about you, which are slightly different, slightly unconventional, because and your guidance teacher had a different view of you. So I think it's maybe important that you balance that argument just now, that all these people with negative views of you are right. What about the truths that your neighbour's telling you? What about the truths that Ashley would tell you, your mother would see in you, and your guidance teacher would see in you? What are they?
Well, these are the people that, speak to me like a normal human being. They'll highlight things that I'm doing well. They think I'm a nice person, I'm very helpful, I'm very compassionate, I'm a good listener. I get that quite a lot, I know. When I'm in that moment, it's easy to digest that.
Okay.
But when I leave them, it goes away. Okay. I'm back to old Jamie again, the thought process that nobody likes me. What's the point of trying to be nice to people?
Okay, so there's a good Jamie, and then there's the aspects of you which are more problematic. Now, I think that we mustn't lose sight of both of these aspects. I don't want you to feel too comfortable that everything's okay, because everything's not okay. But neither do I want you to feel too uncomfortable and ashamed and all that negative emotion which stops you moving forward. Okay? Okay. Now, I think there's another couple of things I want to talk to you about, but I just want to sort of say that's kind of the first part of what I wanted to talk to you about this morning, and I think that's been very hard work. You must be feeling very tired.
Aye, I mean this is middle of the night for me.
Okay. I was meaning that we'd be discussing some quite difficult things.
Aye. Stuff that I wouldn't usually talk about.
And you've handled it. Did you feel that kind of anger building up at any point?
No, because I feel relaxed and comfortable. You know, you were wanting to know me without judging me.
Okay.
Okay. As I feel relaxed.
Okay. Now, I want to move on to some quite difficult territory maybe for you, because I want to talk about the reason that we're here. Just for a few minutes, just to get the outlines of it. What I know is that you were with your, what we call in the law, you know, the co-accused. Are these three other people, are they your core group, your friends?
Aye.
Okay. So, tell me about this. You went into somebody's house and you stole some things. You were driving a car, the police are chasing you, and things got thrown out the car and damaged irreparably. Can you just in a few minutes just tell me about that?
Aye, I mean, it was a classic night with me and my pals. They came round to my bit. We had a few bottles of cider. My pal had mentioned that he's seen there's a lot of new houses at the back here, big houses, where the posh folks stay. He'd said that he'd seen a window open, and he knew that they were away on holiday. So it sounded like the perfect opportunity to go and have a wee look to see what they had. So that's what we did. Got pissed. Went into the house. Tried on a few of their clays. Aye. We thought it would be appropriate to take their car and take all their fancy gadgets that they had. You know, because they clearly had money. They could afford to replace it.
Okay.
So it was a win-win situation.
Okay.
Well, that was the mindset at the time anyway. And we are being encouraged by our pals who are all thinking the same. It seems the best thing to do. Although it's no. I know I get that, it's no.
But you're in the house.
Yeah.
Who went in first?
My pal Johnny.
So he went in first, and how did you all get in?
Well, he went into the wee window. The wee window was open at the back of the house, and he opened the front door from the inside.
Okay. And all in you went?
Yep. We all went in.
How are you feeling then?
Excited.
Right. Okay.
It's probably one of the easiest houses that I've got into before. I'm excited. Nervous at the same time. But mostly excited.
Okay. And you said you were kind of fooling about in the house during that time.
Trying on different clothes, hats. Like my pal got one of the women's makeup, you know, and had wrote over the walls and stuff. So it was what was a laugh at the time.
Good fun.
Aye.
I imagine when in your life of drinking and Xboxing, it is very entertaining. We all need a bit of excitement.
Aye. It was a spur of the moment thing which turned out to be quite a good thing, because one, we're having a laugh, had a good drink, and we're getting a car and some gadgets at the same time.
What was the plan?
Well, the plan was just to get in the house as quickly as possible, take what we could find that was valuable and get out. But when I got in there, it was a different story.
So what happened?
They had a big house with lots of stuff, and we felt that we couldn't take them all unless we had the car.
Okay.
So my pal hotwired the car, started loading some stuff into the car, and off we went. Again, the buzz of doing that was there. You know, we enjoyed it all.
And?
Got into the car, got it started, got down the road, my pal clipped another car, and before we know it, the police is behind us. We ran, stopped the car running, we started throwing the stuff out the car. Think we could beat the police, but the car gets smashed.
Okay. And you get the blame for that?
Aye. I was driving, so...
What about the person whose house it was? You kind of said, well, they can afford to replace it, writing on the walls, all that kind of stuff. What about them?
What do you mean by that?
Well, they come back after a holiday or a night out or whatever they've been doing, and they find their place has been ransacked. Their clothes have been worn. They've got lipstick all over the wall.
Not really put much thought into that. Because I always thought, the clearly have got money, they can afford to replace this stuff. I mean, what's a car or what's an iPad to them? But I suppose, if I was to think if somebody treated my mum and dad like that, I wouldn't be very happy.
Okay. Let's run with that then. I go into your mother's house and your father's house one night when they're out, and I do what you did, so you know the scene, and I steal your father's car.
Right. Well, I'd be pissed off at you, be angry. I would want justice.
Okay.
Because that's my mum and dad.
What would justice be for you?
Never the police, that's for sure. Probably a good beating. A good hiding.
You'd find out who did it, or who you thought did it.
Aye, and give a good hiding.
Okay. Would that be a way forward here if I just go and tell them who you are and tell them that you'll be here next week? And
oh no, definitely. Oh no.
You wouldn't fancy that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Well, if I'm being honest, I would like to admit to things that I've done, and apologise. Because I think that's the right thing to do, and if it was my mum and dad that happened to, the right thing to do would be to apologise to them, so I would do the same.
Not easy though.
I don't know how I'd apologise. I don't know how I'd get the opportunity to apologise, but I would like to apologise.
Okay. Well, we're going to make a plan in the next time we meet, and maybe that could be in the background to that plan, because I would say everything's possible, and if that's a really important thing for you, and it would have to be an important thing for them, that we could see if we could work out how to do that, because I think it's particularly important.
Right.
Does their opinion of you matter?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Okay. So that might be quite important.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just kind of summarise then for all that we've discussed this morning. I said at the start that it was I'd be carrying out a kind of risk assessment, a risk of your reoffending. Okay? We've had quite a long discussion this morning, and I'll do a summary, but I wonder if you want to have a go at it first. Do you think your risk of reoffending is low, medium, high, or very high, if things continue as they do?
High.
Okay.
High. If I'm being honest, it's going to happen again.
And what would need to change to reduce that risk?
Me.
Okay.
Everything that I'm doing.
Well, not everything, because remember, some people said some good things about you.
Aye, that's true. I think what needs to change is me getting a job which I can hold down. Me being able to say no to my pals.
Okay.
That's what I can really see the new.
Okay.
With changing. Because I think if they were to change, things will come in naturally.
Okay, so your friends is an obvious one, isn't it? Your friends are there when you're offending. Alcohol's another one, isn't it? Alcohol.
Aye, I mean, enjoy a drink and that. So I don't want to say that something needs to necessarily change. I mean, maybe reduce the amount I'm taking, but aye.
We've also got your employment history, and your education history comes into this, because it reveals to us a bit of a problem with authority figures as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So these are things to think about. I'm going to I use a structured an assessment tool. So I think that your friends and an alcohol use are really obvious risk areas. There are some strengths, and I want to use this tool to kind of identify them, and I'm going to go away and do that now, and the next time we meet we'll kind of pull these things together. So what you have some significant strengths in your life. Your mother is there for you. Your sister's kind of there and thereabouts. She's not far away, I guess.
No.
You've got Ashley as well, and I get the feeling from what you said that, you know, Ashley's, she seems to want the children to have a relationship with their grandparents.
She does.
And maybe she wants them to have a relationship with you, but not the you that is causing problems. The you that's the good side. That's what she wants for her children and your children.
Aye, that's right.
Lee's about to start school, so it's a big moment. Would you like to take him to school?
I would love that. That'd be great. Especially for his first day, that would be brilliant.
Yeah. What would he feel about you coming and picking him up from school with your friends and while you're drunk?
I'd be scared. Oh aye. He does. He calls them bad men. So that's a definite no. He would really respond well to that.
He'd be ashamed, wouldn't he?
Aye.
He'd be ashamed. So there's maybe quite an important moment in your life with Lee starting school for you to start again yourself. It's maybe a good time.
Aye. I think you're right.
So I'm going to be thinking about the risks as I see them, and these are the things I would like us to work on. You have a think about the risk, but maybe not too much. Think about the good things in your life. If you're wanting to move forward into a different future, you're going to have to make some hard choices, and the road ahead will be difficult, and it won't be straightforward. Because it's a nice idea that we can just change, isn't it?
Absolutely.
But is life like that?
No.
No.
Far from it.
Do we have good periods? And then we mess it up. Something happens that we can't handle, and we mess it up. And then maybe have another good period, and then we mess it up, we fall out, we undo some of the good we've done. So we know that the journey away from that kind of criminal lifestyle, the criminal thinking, the criminal emotions, these kind of things, the environment, it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. So there's lots of things that I think that we can do, but I'd like you just to take some time and think, because I like the idea that you're going to take the lead on this, and I'm going to help you. Okay, that I'm going to work for you rather than you working for me.
Alright, okay. That's different.
Yeah, so you're the captain. If you're going to go onto the rocks, I'll probably jump off the ship before then. But I like that. I like the idea. Now, sometimes I might have to take the controls. Sometimes I might have to say no to you. Okay, and you're going to have to hear that, because I'm going to need to put my foot on the brakes. You know when you're learning to drive?
Yeah.
And you've got the instructor who's got the brake? I might need to use that brake from time to time and say, no, stop. I need to maybe use the power I've got in this order to stop you. I maybe need to go back to court, get some more conditions. But I can go back to court and get conditions taken off. Okay?
Alright.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. One of the things I want you to think about is your friends. Is sticking with these friends the strongest force? Is that compatible with a plan for a different future with Ashley, with Lee, and with the wee one, Sydney? Are your friends compatible with a better relationship with your parents? But we need friends, so we need to find some new friends. We need excitement, but we need a different kind of focus for that excitement, rather than going into somebody's house and trying on coats, driving cars. So we need to put things in place. Getting a job's not going to be easy, and it's going to be very discouraging. But we have to keep moving forward, and you have to be able to see that you're moving forward. I'm not getting anywhere, John. I said, well, here's the evidence. That's where you were, and that's where you are now. So that's a false belief. Okay, so we do that. The final thing I want to talk about is how we do that. How do you learn? How do you learn?
How do I learn?
What's the best way to work with you?
I suppose I learn best when people, show me how to do something. Like, I suppose it's the same as when I break into houses, I break into cars, somebody's showing me how to do that.
Okay.
So that's how I learn.
So you like to copy, you like to do that. Okay. We'll do one-to-one contacts because that's private. We can talk about very sensitive things. But what we know is that in order to move away from offending lifestyle, sometimes it's better to work with groups of other people who are in the same situation. So the idea is that you learn together and you challenge each other. That's why we learn at school in groups rather than one-to-one, because we all learn together. How would you feel about that?
I think where I'm at just now, I'm ready for a challenge which is going to help me. Help me open my eyes, what's out there, what I can achieve. Because doing the same old thing isn't working anymore.
Okay, so we can give that a go as well. Alcohol, you have the shakes in the morning, you need to steady yourself for that. I'm not going to condone your drinking, but I need to be realistic. What's the best time of day to get you into the office to work with you?
Probably about 4 o'clock, 4 or 5. That's probably my best time.
Okay, right. Well, I would say that if we can meet at 3:30, because the office closes at 5, and I can give you an hour and a half of my time.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to meet again in a few days. We'll get an appointment on the way out. What would you like to talk about? I've told you what I'd like to talk about. What would you like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about... Well, I talk about my future and how I can change things and gain back some control. Because I think through talking to you today, it's made me realise that there's more to life than the crap that I've been doing. That's what I want to talk about.
Okay.
Moving forward.
Right. So we'll talk about that, and I'll have done my risk assessment, but I think we can see the outline of it already, the things that we need to work on, and you come to me with some ideas for that. Okay. So what do you want to work on? Who can help you with that? Who can show you how to do things? And we'll take it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Has that been okay this morning?
It wasn't as painful as I was. Well, it's not as painful as my previous experience with social workers. So that was good. I feel a sense of relief actually.
Right. Well, I said this morning that I wanted to learn a lot about you, but I also wanted you to learn about yourself. Has that been achieved?
In a roundabout way. I have learned more about the things that I want in life. And I've kind of came to realise the things that I can change within that. But as I said, it's just getting that push.
So you're feeling quite positive?
I'm feeling more positive than I did when I first came in. Definitely.
What I'm worried about now is that you're feeling quite energised. That's an emotional reaction. What I'm worrying about is that you kind of go away and all that motivation takes a dip. I see that a lot. People come back and the openness that's created in this interview is now closed down, and we have to start generating that kind of enthusiasm again. That's what I'm worried about. I wonder now that you're feeling relaxed, you're feeling positive, you kind of see that the road ahead is going to be difficult, but there maybe is a different future for you. I wonder if you could go and tell your mum about today. Tell somebody about today.
I think that's a good idea. I think my mum would like to hear that as well.
Okay.
Actually, I think I will.
Okay, so that's a definite plan.
Yeah.
And the other plan is we'll see you in a few days.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we leave it there?
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jamie, thank you. It's been a great pleasure for me. Okay.